The heavy blast doors of the Sanctuary of God groaned as they slowly slid open. Sam adjusted the straps of his worn leather vest and took a deep breath of the damp, dangerous air. He knew that entering this mystical realm was the only way to earn enough credits to keep his family alive. Step by step, the young hunter ventured deeper into the emerald-tinted brush. A low, guttural growl vibrated through the damp earth beneath his boots. From the thick fog, a massive shape-shifting wolf emerged with eyes like burning coals. Sam instantly reached for an arrow and pulled back his bowstring until his muscles strained. The creature lunged forward, its form blurring into a tempest of razor-sharp fangs. With a sharp release, the arrow zipped through the air, piercing the beast's shoulder. The wolf howled in fury, its body expanding as its biological cells began to mutate rapidly. Sam scrambled backward, narrowly dodging a heavy swipe from a giant mutated claw. He grabbed his basic steel shortsword, preparing for a dangerous close-quarters struggle. The mutated beast charged again, tearing up the earth with every single stride. Sam sidestepped cleanly and drove his blade deep into the monster's flank. A mystical soul essence began to leak from the creature, swirling into a brilliant blue mist. Suddenly, a dazzling bolt of purple energy cut through the trees from a distance. The immense impact blast knocked Sam completely off his feet and sent him tumbling into the brush. He crashed into a thick thicket, coughing violently from the thick, acrid smoke. Through the haze, a majestic figure descended slowly from the sky like an angry deity. It was Kinukuan, the undisputed, most powerful high-tier hunter of the entire sanctuary shelter. She did not even look at Sam, focusing entirely on the weakened, shape-shifting wolf. The monster whimpered, completely paralyzed by the overwhelming pressure she radiated. Sam realized that she was about to steal the beast's soul he had worked so hard to weaken. Act blindly on instinct, Sam pulled his last trick from his utility belt. He threw a high-explosive disruption flash capsule right into the center of the clearing. A blinding flash of golden light detonated directly between Kinukuan and her prey. Seizing the brief chaos, Sam darted forward and drove his blade into the wolf's core. The monster shattered into a million fragments, and its high-tier soul rushed into Sam's body. As the blinding light faded, Sam found himself looking directly into a pair of murderous golden eyes. Kinukuan's face twisted into an expression of absolute, unadulterated rage. "You dare steal from me, you miserable little insect," she hissed venomously. Sam's jaw dropped as he realized exactly how massive of a mess he had just made. Without wasting a single half-second to reply, he spun around and bolted into the dense trees. A massive wave of destructive dark energy tore through the forest right behind his heels. Sam leaped over a massive fallen log just as the energy blast vaporized it instantly. He pushed his legs to their absolute limits, weaving through narrow rocky crevices to break her line of sight. Above him, the entire sky seemed to shake as Kinukuan began a relentless hunt for his head. Sam finally collapsed inside a small hidden cavern, gasping for air as his heart hammered. He looked down at his hands, watching the newly acquired wolf soul essence settle into his veins. He had successfully secured a legendary power, but he had also made the most dangerous enemy alive. Suddenly, a deep, mechanical drone echoed through the cavern, followed by a metallic voice. Target identified, commencing shelter-wide broadcast for the Bounty Hunter Syndicate. The electronic alarm system echoed violently across the steel corridors as Sam dashed toward the exit gates. He leaped over an automated security barrier just as heavy blast doors began to slam shut. Sliding underneath the final descending gate, he emerged into the dark, overgrown badlands outside the shelter. Sam crouched low within the dense purple foliage to hide his heat signature from overhead drones. The global broadcast network had already placed a massive bounty on his head, courtesy of Kinukuan's wrath. Survival meant he could no longer rely on the safe zones of the Sanctuary of God. He pulled a basic hunting dagger from his belt and inspected its dulled steel edge. To fight back against the bounty hunters, he needed to grow stronger by farming primitive alien beasts alone. A low, guttural growl vibrated through the damp morning air from a nearby ravine. A multi-horned spiked boar stepped out from the shadows, its tusks dripping with acidic green saliva. Sam quickly analyzed the creature's heavy plating to find a weakness in its design. He picked up a jagged stone and hurled it toward the opposite side of the ravine. The spiked boar turned its massive head toward the noise, exposing its unarmored soft underneck. Springing from his hiding place, Sam dropped down directly onto the monster's heavily armored back. He drove the metal blade deep into the vulnerable soft tissue beneath the beast's jaw. The creature collapsed into the dirt with a final heavy thud, dissolving into glowing particles. A small, swirling blue orb floated out of the carcass and merged directly into Sam's chest. A mechanical notification in his vision confirmed he had successfully harvested a low-tier beast soul. The dense, high-energy beast meat left behind was a valuable commodity that wealthy city slickers craved. Realizing the profit potential, Sam decided to turn this dangerous valley into his personal farming grounds. For 3 consecutive days, he meticulously constructed intricate rope traps and spike pits along the monster trails. He covered the traps with camouflage netting and waited patiently high up in the canopy. A pack of razor-clawed raptor beasts stumbled directly into a snare zone. Sam dropped heavy boulders from above, neutralizing the trapped predators without risking close combat. The systematic farming method yielded an abundance of high-quality prime cuts and glowing essence crystals. To sell these goods without revealing his location, he needed a proxy merchant inside the trade outposts. Under the cover of a dense midnight fog, Sam approached the back perimeter fence of a border trading post. An old greedy merchant named Old Barlow was waiting by the trash disposal chute as arranged. Barlow's jaw dropped as Sam opened the sack to reveal perfectly preserved premium beast meat. "This quality will fetch a fortune from the high-tier hunters who refuse to enter the mud," the merchant whispered. Sam insisted on a 60-40 split paid exclusively in untraceable credit chips and weapon upgrades. The merchant grumbled but ultimately handed over a heavy pouch filled with clicking electronic chips. With his first major influx of wealth secured, Sam melted back into the dark wilderness unnoticed. Back at his hidden camp, he spread out his earnings and counted the credit chips one by one. The system interface showed his bank balance rising faster than any rookie hunter in the sector. However, trading simple meat wouldn't keep him ahead of the professional hunter syndicates for long. He needed to use his accumulated wealth to purchase advanced military-grade gear on the black market. Reports on the network indicated that elite hunters were tracking his trade patterns through Barlow's shop. A sudden snapping of twigs outside the cave entrance shattered the silence of the forest. Heavy synchronized cybernetic footsteps were approaching his hidden sanctuary, accompanied by the distinct hum of laser targeting sights. The hum of the red laser targeting sights danced erratically across the stone entrance of Sam's hidden cave sanctuary. He held his breath as the heavy metallic thuds of motorized combat boots echoed closer through the narrow canyon outside. Realizing his current makeshift gear would not survive a direct confrontation with high-tech scavengers, Sam immediately accessed his glowing soul crafting interface. He selected the accumulated essence of the rare beast souls he had painstakingly farmed over the past weeks. The system interface flashed brightly as the biological recombination sequence began to forge a brand new weapon archetype. Materializing out of the pure digital energy, a sleek, advanced bow composed of hardened silver beast bone and pulsing blue energy strings settled into his grip. Alongside the bow, a massive tactical spear forged from venomous scorpion carapaces gleamed with a toxic green aura. Slipping through a secret secondary exit at the rear of the cavern, Sam bypassed the heavily armed tracking squad entirely. He emerged onto a sprawling plateau overlooking the lethal fields of the outer sanctuary, where titanic entities battled in the distance. This dangerous zone was the legendary feeding ground of both divine, golden-scaled predators and highly venomous insects. Sam noted a large armored merchant caravan belonging to a rival hunter syndicate moving slowly along the primary canyon road below. They were tracking a magnificent divine sun stag, a rare high-tier beast whose soul was worth a fortune on the black market. A confident grin spread across Sam's face as he realized he could easily intercept the prize using his new arsenal. He drew back the glowing blue energy string, aiming precisely at a weak point in the stag's divine armor plating. With a resonant hum, the energy arrow streaked through the night sky like a fallen meteor, leaving a brilliant trail of light. The arrow struck the divine sun stag perfectly, causing a massive explosion of golden and blue particles that completely blinded the caravan guards. The rival caravan leader leaped from his command vehicle, screaming orders to his men through his tactical comms helmet. Capitalizing on the utter chaos, Sam used the thick smoke cloud to slide down the steep cliff face effortlessly. He moved like a phantom through the tall purple brushwood, avoiding the scanning searchlights of the confused guards. Reaching the fallen beast first, Sam drove his venomous carapace spear deep into its core to instantly harvest the soul before it dissipated. A radiant, high-tier golden soul orb floated up from the carcass, swirling into Sam's left gauntlet with a satisfying chime. A fleet of tactical surveillance drones suddenly broke through the smokescreen, their red lenses locking onto his position. Sam gave the tracking drones a playful salute before launching himself backward into the dense jungle canopy. Heavy machine gun fire tore through the alien trees behind him, shredding wood and lighting up the foliage with tracer rounds. Using his extensive knowledge of the terrain, Sam maneuvered deeper into the deadly poison viper swamps, where heavy vehicles could never follow. Huge, multi-eyed serpents slithered through the toxic mire, but they ignored Sam due to the heavy scent of the viper spear he carried. Safe from his pursuers, Sam sat beneath a massive gnarled root to inspect the high-tier spoils he had successfully stolen from under the caravan's nose. The system informed him that this divine soul could be used to unlock the legendary Silver Wild Warrior armor set. However, the evolutionary process required him to harvest one final component, the core of a poisonous tyrant toad. Without hesitation, Sam stood up and ventured deeper into the foggy heart of the marshland to find his target. A thunderous, wet croak echoed through the swamp, sending a massive shockwave across the toxic water and shattering nearby dead trees. An enormous, boulder-sized amphibian with warts dripping with corrosive acid emerged from the bubbling mud directly in front of him. The tyrant toad whipped its massive, acid-coated tongue forward at blinding speed, forcing Sam to perform a frantic mid-air flip to evade it. While still airborne, Sam drew his energy bow and loosed a rapid succession of 3 blue arrows aimed straight at the monster's glowing eyes. The arrows found their mark with perfect precision, causing the tyrant toad to roar in absolute agony as blue plasma energy scorched its face. Seizing the moment of vulnerability, Sam landed heavily on a solid root and launched himself forward with his emerald spear extended. He plunged the toxic carapace spear deep into the center of the beast's forehead, unleashing the stored poison energy directly into its brain. The colossal tyrant toad went completely limp, collapsing into the thick marshy mud with a massive echoing thud. A dark green, pulsating core materialized above the corpse, completing the necessary components required for Sam's grand armor fusion. Suddenly, the entire swamp was illuminated by a blinding white searchlight from above as a massive high-tech military battleship hovered over the trees. Over the battleship's massive loudspeaker, the cold, unmistakable voice of Kinukwan echoed, demanding his immediate surrender for stealing from her syndicate. The booming echo of Kinukwan's voice cut through the heavy smoke, paralyzing every lesser hunter in the immediate vicinity. Sam gripped his advanced energy bow tightly, refusing to let the immense mechanical pressure crush his absolute resolve. Dozens of heavily armed wanderers deployed from the massive carrier, their heavy boots slamming hard against the rocky terrain. The lead wanderer drew a massive biological broadsword, its surface pulsating with the dark red aura of a high-tier beast soul. Sam analyzed the enemy's defensive formation in an instant, pinpointing the precise weak spots in their biomechanical armor links. With a sudden burst of speed, the Vanguard captain lunged forward, unleashing a devastating downward slash that split the ground open. Sam executed a flawless backward flip, dodging the shockwave by a mere fraction of an inch while drawing 3 energy arrows simultaneously. The 3 piercing arrows streaked through the air, directly striking the exposed fuel joints of the advanced Vanguard units. Violent chain explosions erupted across the front line, forcing the elite syndicate hunters to break their perfect assault formation. Kinukwan watched the sudden failure from her observation deck, her grip tightening until her golden staff began to crack. Recognizing that he was still completely outgunned by the sheer volume of arriving forces, Sam opened his secret inventory menu. He selected the legendary Silver Wild Warrior Beast Soul alongside his remaining high-tier biological components for emergency synthesis. A blinding flash of raw silver energy erupted from his chest, forcing Sam to drop to one knee as the biological recombination process began. Organic silver armor plates rapidly grew over his limbs, fusing seamlessly with his skin to create an unbreakable living shell. A towering spiritual manifestation of a majestic silver wolf materialized behind him, letting out a silent, space-rending howl. The sheer kinetic shockwave of the completed transformation blew away the remaining elite hunters who had managed to surround the cave. Feeling an unprecedented surge of raw, unadulterated power flowing through his veins, Sam tightly closed his newly armored fist. With a single powerful leap, he launched himself directly into the upper atmosphere, leaving a massive crater where he once stood. Kinukwan could only watch in absolute disbelief as her advanced target radar completely lost track of his incredible velocity. Hours later, far away from the chaotic conflict zone, Sam safely landed inside the secure perimeter of the Central Hunter Academy. The annual Academy ranking tournament was already underway, with elite students from wealthy families dominating the grand arena. The reigning champion of the Academy stepped onto the central stage, mocking the lower-class hunters who dared to challenge his position. Sam quietly signed his name onto the digital registration terminal, utterly unfazed by the loud boasts of his upcoming opponents. When Sam's name appeared on the massive display board, the crowd erupted into whispers regarding his mysterious background. The blonde champion laughed loudly as Sam entered the ring, immediately drawing a massive fire-infused greatsword to end the match quickly. Without even deploying his primary energy bow, Sam simply stepped forward, his eyes flashing with a brief hint of silver light. The champion charged forward with a massive swinging strike, but Sam vanished instantly, leaving behind a mere blur of displaced air. Reappearing instantly behind his opponent, Sam lightly tapped the back of the champion's heavy breastplate with 2 fingers. A localized kinetic shockwave exploded from the point of impact, sending the arrogant champion crashing through the arena walls. Absolute stunned silence fell over the entire stadium as the referee stared open-mouthed at the unconscious top-ranked student. Suddenly, dozens of news drones and media reporters swarmed the stadium gates, desperate to uncover the identity of this overpowered solo hunter. Knowing the complications of fame, Sam utilized a basic camouflage beast soul to blend flawlessly into the fleeing crowd of spectators. Meanwhile, a massive global ranking update broadcasted across every television network, announcing a new #1 hidden user. Watching the news report from her central headquarters, No.1 realized she could never hope to capture someone who had surpassed humanity's limits. She signed an official decree to permanently call off all search parties, completely dissolving her syndicate's bitter grudge against him. Back at his family's peaceful countryside home, Sam transferred a massive fortune of earned credits to his mother's bank account. His mother wept tears of absolute joy, realizing that their long years of crushing poverty and suffering were finally over. Sam walked outside onto the green hill overlooking their vast farmlands, taking a deep breath of the fresh, clean mountain air. The legendary silver wild warrior armor briefly glimmered beneath his casual clothes, reminding him of the incredible journey he had conquered. Having secured absolute safety for his loved ones and achieved the ultimate rank in total secrecy, the genius solo farmer finally enjoyed his well-earned peace.